All right, today we're going to be talking about Fuji cameras again because I bought another one. Stay tuned and we'll talk about it. All right, hello and welcome back everyone. Eric Marks here again, findingmiddleearth.com. And today we're going to talk about these Fuji cameras because I bought another one. And I'll get to that in a second. So first off, I'm going to have my full review on this coming very soon because now I'm going on almost a month of shooting with these Fuji cameras, and I've found a lot of awesome things about them and just a few little quirks and cons that I'll talk about. It's nothing bad enough for me to get rid of the Fuji or to stop shooting with it. I still have not used my Nikon D810 once since I had this camera, other than to do the autofocus and ISO tests with it. Which, by the way, if you are new to the channel and you like Fuji stuff, go ahead and subscribe because there's going to be a lot more Fuji stuff coming, like a whole lot. And also, if you've missed my videos, you can go back and see that I've done a couple of Fuji versus Nikon comparisons, so maybe you'll enjoy those. Maybe they'll help you. Anyway, so I got back about half an hour ago from doing a kind of a photo adventure day with my good friend Joseph, who also loves to take photos. We went to this place called Little River Canyon, and we left my house at about 6 a.m. Well, no, I got up about 6 a.m. I think we ended up leaving here about 7:30 to head that way because it was out of state, so it was a couple-hour drive. We headed that way, and the place was beautiful. It was a weekday, which I always like to hit the state parks on weekdays. This is just a little quick tip if you can, because on weekends they're like the biggest tourist locations in the world, and you can't ever get the right photo. You have to use Photoshop until you like pull your hair out. So on the weekdays there's like nobody there, especially this weekday because we've had a lot of ice and snow here. Or not a lot, we've had a lot of ice. There was a whole weekend of black ice warnings here to where people were avoiding the roads, and so back in the trails where it's shaded, the ice still hadn't melted, so it was a little dangerous, and so I called the park ranger's office to make sure that everything was still open and semi-safe to navigate the trails, and he gave me the go-ahead, so always do that as well. If you're going out of state or on a big long drive, call the park ranger's office to make sure everything is open, because it's the worst thing ever to get there and then figure out something's closed or the trail's being rerouted or something, who knows. So yeah, so we got there and there was huge icicles hanging off the waterfall. The water was this beautiful emerald green color. It was just gorgeous, honestly, but it was raining on us and misting on us most of the day. So it was a very foggy, misty day, which is amazing weather for shooting waterfalls because it's even light. So there was no sunlight. It was just even the whole day. It was great for shooting waterfalls, but pretty much terrible for anything else. There was no good sunset or sunrise or anything like that, but it was great for waterfalls. So normally when I go out and I shoot, I always like to take two cameras with me. With my Nikon stuff, I always took my D810 and my D4, or my D810 and my D7200, just to have a couple of different options. So after much debate whether I should just get another XT2 or whatever, I decided to get the XT1 as a second camera. And with the XT1, by the way, I did get the vertical battery grip for it as well, even though it doesn't have a boost mode or anything. I ended up getting it. So this camera, now remember, I'm kind of new to Fuji, so I had only ever used the XT2. This is the only Fuji camera that I have used. So I had never used the XT1. I didn't really know how much better the XT2 was than the XT1. And I have to say, while the XT2 is definitely better in almost every area, this camera is no slouch. I mean, whatsoever. The autofocus is not bad at all. It's not very good at tracking, but I mean, in low light, it's not. It's not bad. It's really not. It's surprisingly good. I always just thought, oh well, finally, this is the Fuji camera that I can live with. Had I bought the XT1, a year ago, I'm sure I would have been just as happy with this. This is a very, very good camera. 16 megapixels. So what? Just the sharpness of these cameras, I still can't explain it. When me and Joseph were out hiking at Little River Canyon, we came across this part of the forest where the forest fires had just literally just pummeled the trees, and there was just so much devastation. And it was hard to see because it was just so much black, and I mean, it smelled like smoke. It smelled like a barbecue smokehouse. I mean, that's how, and we smelled it like 100 yards back. We were like, do you smell barbecue? And then all of a sudden we get up on this area of the forest and just black everywhere. The trees were black. The trees had been, you know, cut down. The trees were rotted. So when we got to that area, I was like, you know, I have the XT2. Basically what I did was I traveled with the XT2 in my bag, and then I just had the XT2 around my neck, or sorry, the XT1 around my neck like this, just so I could just do, you know, some quick shots or whatever, because I wanted to test this out that day. And I used this to take some photos of those trees, just handheld, and came back and put them on the computer and zoomed in on the files at 100%. And I mean, just mind-bogglingly sharp. You know, 16 megapixel crop sensor is no slouch at all compared to my 36 megapixel D810. Obviously, the D810 has better resolution, you know, better print quality, I'm sure, as you can resize. But I mean, the way that I prep my prints, I can easily squeeze some bigger prints out of this. So I'm gonna do that as well. Okay, I know I have a video coming soon about prints out of the XT2. I'm gonna do some prints out of the XT1 because I'm just curious myself. There's so many photographers that shoot with this that are just, they're like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Of course you can get 20 by 30 prints out of the XT1. What do you think? So I wanna test it. I wanna do 20 by 30, maybe even 40 by 60. I wanna try it because I have a very specific process that I use when I prep my photos for print, and I personally think that it enhances the file you know, to its best quality before I send it off to print. So I think, you know, just how these files looked right out of the camera, how sharp it was at 100%, after my prepping and after, you know, after I basically prep everything for the specific size that I'm gonna be printing at, I think I can squeeze a pretty darn big size out of this camera. So anyway, yeah, I was just rocking with this. I have a nice little dumb key strap on it, so it was super, you know, it's just a lightweight setup, so I love that. And I was just rocking and rolling with these two cameras all day, and I was the happiest guy in the world. So yeah, I chose the XT1. So if you guys are, you know, struggling with the same question, you know, maybe you have an XT2 or an X Pro 2, and you're sitting there wondering, well, you know, as a professional photographer, you're supposed to have a backup body or a second kit so that, you know, in case something happens to one, you always can, the show must go on, right? You have to have a backup of everything. If you're wondering whether you should just replace the current camera or you should get the XT1, I'm here to tell you two things. Number one, if budget is no concern whatsoever and you're like the richest person ever, then just buy like 5 of these and you'll be more than happy. But, you know, if you don't have to have 2 XT2s or 2 X Pro 2s or whatever, this combo is beautiful. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about the fact that it was, oh, well, I'm losing, you know, 8 megapixels of resolution taking photos with this. So what? I mean, this camera is just unbelievable. They're so good that the 16 megapixel, 24 megapixel deficit did not even cross my mind. And it shouldn't cross your mind, honestly. You know, let's be honest. When you're out shooting and you see a subject, you see a wildlife, a tree, a landscape, a sunset, think about the sunset. Think about the composition and the trees and the light. Don't think about, oh, well, how many megapixels am I going to use? Don't think about it. Think about the important stuff. Think about the light. The light is going to be the most important thing to think about when you're on location. The light and the composition. Where's the light at, and how can I set this shot up to make it look good? Don't think about, oh, well, I should probably put this down and unzip every pocket of my other camera, and, you know, or my other bag, and get my other camera out, and then by the time you've done all that, the shot's gone. Just, even if you have your iPhone on you, which, by the way, that, I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but just, there's so many people that have messaged me ever since I got this camera, and I'm not kidding, probably 50 or 60 different emails, messages, comments saying, Eric, aren't you going to miss your 36 megapixel D810? I haven't missed it at all. I mean, megapixels isn't everything, you know? Sure, it helps in different genres of photography, whatever, but megapixels isn't everything. Image quality is key, and how you feel, the ergonomics, how this camera feels in your hand is key. If it's fun for you to use, you have to be having fun at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if you have a 900 megapixel camera. If it's not fun to shoot with and it's just a hassle to carry around, you're not going to take good photos because you don't want to be using the camera. These are just tools. So I know this video is supposed to be about, you know, a new Fuji camera, but the purpose of me getting the XT1 and kind of the moral of this story is never let the cameras get in the way of taking the photo. I'm going to leave you with that. I'm not going to say one more thing other than thank you for watching this video, okay? But I'm going to say it one more time. Never let the cameras get in the way of taking the photo. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you would like to stay up to date on all of my latest photography videos and adventures, click the big subscribe button below. And if you would like to find out more about me and how to become a great photographer, visit my website at findingmiddleearth.com.